again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Bands You Should Know. Today, we're going to travel back to the land of thrash. But not only that, let's jump on over to jolly old England. Now, when I mention classic UK thrash bands, there are some names that get thrown around from time to time, like Zentrix and Onslaught and Sabat. But you know what? Fuck all those bands. The best UK thrash band, in this man's opinion, is the band Acid Reign. Acid Reign started around 1985. Then they released their first demo, Moshkenstein, around a couple years later or so. But then, in 1989, they released their first full-length album, The Fear. This album is fucking rad. It is very energetic, has tons of those thrash riffs. You know how much I love the fucking riffs. But also, these guys are not afraid to throw some different things in there. They've got some of that real aggressive, fast shit like some of the German bands were doing, but they're also not afraid to slow it down, not afraid to throw in some harmony from time to time. It is just a killer record all the way through. Let's hear a little bit. And look at this insert. Isn't that the classic thrash metal thing where you have the fucking collage of photos and shit? I totally love that shit. But anyway, this album, both their albums are on the Under One Flag label. And as you heard, it's very thrashy. To me, there's a thing about them that reminds me of Anthrax, and there's a little bit of Sacred Reich. I don't know. I don't really like pigeonholing bands that I love like that. But, you know, you hear a lot of those little things in there. But not only that, I love the fact that on both of their albums, they are not afraid to throw in some tempo changes or just sort of totally change the direction of the song. These guys aren't following any fucking rules, and that's the shit that I love the most. And then soon after that, they released this little EP with a re-recording of the song Humanoia. And I just like showing this thing off because it's like one of the only 10 inches I own. And you see a little photo of the band there. That's another great thing about this band, is that they never took themselves too seriously. The songs were serious when they needed to be, and then when they didn't, they weren't. And that to me is fucking great, which is another reason why I love Anthrax and bands like that. So in 1990, the band released this album, Obnoxious, which actually expands their sound a little bit. There's longer songs, they're kind of epic songs. There's a fucking shitload of amazing riffs. Once again, riffs. All over the fucking place. This is almost like Acid Reign's and Justice for All, if you kind of get what I'm going for. The songs are big. There's a lot going on here. And sometimes they're just like, you know what? We were doing thrash for 6 minutes. Now we're going to do something funky for another 2 minutes. They don't give a shit. So yeah, there is a lot more progressive elements on this album. There was a little bit on the first one, but they expanded it on this one, and that's why I totally dig this album. Apparently, this is an album that people didn't like as much as The Fear, but that's fucking bullshit. They're both amazing albums. And so that was the last album that Acid Reign released. They broke up, and then for a few years, There was nothing going on with the band. And then the vocalist, Howard Smith, got together a new lineup of the band, and they're fucking killer. They released one song a few years ago that was called Plan of the Damned. Really fucking great song. And then a couple years later, they released one more song called The Man Who Became Himself. Also a fucking killer song. But they were only releasing one song. And it's like, where's the fucking album? Well, guess what? They had just been in the studio, I think a few months ago they finished up, and I think they're looking for a label and distribution and all that shit. I hope that shit gets wrapped up pretty soon, and I hope they blow this motherfucker out, because they are a band that needs to be out there for everyone to hear, because they are so fucking good. That was a weird pronunciation. I don't know where my mouth went just then. I just got so excited about Acid Reign, and you should be excited too. You can listen to them, like I always say, on your Apple Musics or your Spotify's, or go look for their vinyls online. That's, where I got them, from trusty old Discogs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing some Acid Reign. If you didn't know them, I hope that I've gotten you into a band that you are now going to be so excited about, because I'm excited about them. So that's all I've got for you today. I will see you guys next time.